Three, two, one. Time to go live, everybody. Hello, and thanks for coming, everybody. You know what they say about assume. I assume that you all can see me, as the lead farmer would say, and hear me. Put a one in the chat if you can see me and hear me. We'll just do one thing because if you can't do one, you probably can't do the other. I figured out again how to make the picture big. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, Maria Graham, and Mike's Chaotic Gardening. My beautiful mods are in here early, bright and early. Juanita Campbell says hello. And I'd like to thank you guys for giving the thumbs up on your way in. If you're here for the replay, please don't forget to leave a comment so that I will know that you were here. If you leave a comment, I promise you, I will answer you. If you're in the bushes, leave me a message. I had a message from my granddaughter today because, of course, I'm still collecting jeans for jeans quilts. I don't have one myself. I would like to have one. My granddaughter, who helps me do everything, doesn't have one. But I see some ones in the chat, so thank you. Somebody's saying hello, Wanda. I think it's Juanita Campbell. Thank you for coming. I remember when I used to roll through your town on my way from Warrenton, North Carolina to Raleigh, North Carolina to do my line dancing. Hey, Unbiased LLC. You hear me? I know that's right. That means you're busy. You're working. A funny story. Some of you have heard it before. Oh, you like my top? I'm working on getting my merch out. I've had this top since about 2 years before I started the channel. I'll chit chat until others come in. Deborah Garrett, hello. Thank you for coming. And welcome, welcome, welcome to GQUAT Traditionzs. My arm is getting better. I'd stopped doing my exercises. My arms were getting, you know, wing bat arms. So I've been working on it. I have an aide that comes 3 times a week. And one of the things she does, she reminds me to do my meds. She reminds me to do my exercises. I do my exercises, but I have been cheating on some of them. I had not been doing the bicycle. So I do my bicycle from 20 minutes to an hour. It used to be an hour. Now it's down to 20 minutes. But I know 20 minutes, it will start, your body's supposed to start burning fat. Anyway, everybody has fat. I don't care what size you are. It's a condition of living. You can't live without fat. Oh, you like my top, Mike? Okay. Well, I know some of you. What I did when I designed this this top, I spelled traditions differently. No, Hershey, Auntie Joanne is not here. Come running in here. Okay, 1 second. Come on up. I just want to show you guys a quick something. Hershey has his sweater on, and the reason is I've needed an AC all summer. Finally got it installed this week. I mean, it was freezing cold. It was freezing cold. But anyway, he was all curled up, acting like he was cold. So the temperature is, I don't know what my hair is doing. The temperature in here is 70 degrees. My Renaissance grandma, thank you for coming. Rita's Roost. Rita, I've been watching you. I watch you on TV. I watch you and your friends. I watch you at night. For you guys that don't know Rita's Roost, she is an avid quilter. She actually has a big farm. You fluffy, not fat. I'm thick. I'm thick. I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't want to lose weight. I don't want new clothes. I just want to be healthy and fit. And I'm really, really fit. The only thing is that I have joint problems that that I guess it's hereditary. I'm working on that. There's nothing I can do about it. Mike says, "You're very dapper, Mr. Hershey." Hello, Mother. If you're in the background, Mom, sometimes they put it on her TV later on, but she doesn't miss a show. And she loves watching because then she gets to spend 2 hours. You spend too much time on YouTube? No, Rita, because all the time you're on YouTube, you're working. You're working. I used to have a 1,500 square foot studio. Rita has a building that's set up only for her quilting. She has her long arm there, couple machines, all these bolts of fabric. I have to figure out, I'm on Restream. I have to figure out how to, or if I can, on the version I have, post pictures of my studio. It was 1,500 square feet. I had about 35 machines in there. Most of them, Rita's Roof says, "You think I look wonderful." Thank you. Hi, Mom, from Mike's Chaotic Gardening. Oh, I was telling you about the t shirt. I think that everybody has a tradition or they follow something they've seen or heard. And for that reason, my show was called GQUAT Traditions. That's the full name, but people didn't know what a GQUAT was. So I put in garden, quilt, and art show, and more people come in. Uh-oh. They said I froze. Am I unfrozen, you guys? I don't see that I'm frozen over here. Rita says it's started out as a house for her in-laws. Oh, and they're deceased now. She's not going to rent it. Oh, well, you know what? I'll tell you what. I used to be vice president of the Carolina Long Arm Association, and we had, I don't know how many members. There were a lot. There were a lot. I was on the board of directors. And Deb S., the Pug Mama Quilter, thanks you quilters for coming in and everybody, because I think everybody can quilt. I want to show you guys just some simple things in a minute that you can still make for Christmas, a bunch of stuff. But her husband worked for Duke University, not the energy company, and they built like a garage on their property. It was 2 stories, and they put a long arm machine, one of the more expensive ones. Oh, it says that's on your end, Maria. So, okay, the rest of you can see me and hear me. I've been watching some other channels, and I noticed that they were glitching, and the thing was spinning. But they built a 2 story studio and they bought 2 gamma machines. For those of you who are not familiar with long arm machines, I used to teach long arm quilting on several different machines. I used to teach on the gamma, which is what they bought, 2 of those, the handy quilter and another one. And but I'm trained on all long arm machines. It's like if you can use a laptop, you learn the computers and whatnot. You can use almost any type of a computer, whether it's Apple or whoever. So it's kind of like that with long arm machines. Her husband quit his job, and I know that he had to be making somewhere between 60 and 100,000. They have the top end machines and the quilt frames that advance the quilt, put the design in, you put that in, and the machine goes by itself. They were making $5,000-$10,000 a day. A day. I remember one of my first quilts that we're just chit chatting, you guys. For those of you coming in, I know everybody doesn't quilt. And my first quilt, it was a rush for a quilt show in North Carolina, a pretty big quilt show. I'm messing around with this thing, trying to figure out where you can see my t-shirt. so you can't see my whole face. Maybe if I sit back. You don't claim any expertise, you just love doing it. Well, that's what I bought mine for. I bought mine to do my own quilts. And guess what, Rita? I might need your help. Awkward Quilter. Thanks for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. Dun, 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 dun. Awkward Quilter is in Georgia. Oh, you guys, each of you, put an exclamation mark GQUAT. Let me see if I can do it. GQU. Uh oh. Well, hold on, you guys. I'll be back. Cancel that. You know I'm touching buttons, but maybe one of my mods will put in there exclamation mark GQUAT and you can drop your links. Hello, Lisa. Thank you for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. Maybe Lisa is Awkward Quilter. I don't know that name, but let's talk about what the GQUAT stands for: Garden, Quilt, and Art Show, and including you, Rita's Roost. What's going on in all that land you have? All of you who are gardeners or have a farm, let us know what you're growing, because all of us should be trying to grow a little bit of something, something, because as you know, whether you agree or not, we're not going to talk about politics, but we do have a new president elect and things are going to be changing. A lot of things, in my humble opinion. And you see all these books here? All these books, I've actually read all of them. I actually have a master's degree in business administration, and I used to be a management consultant. And that's what I used to do for other big companies before I retired. Now, I don't want to do anything. I was in the laundry room today and somebody came in and I was saying that my machine didn't work. The maintenance man was called. Hi, Katie. Thanks for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. Katie Greenland Quilter. I don't know what time you're on, but thank you for coming. Thank you. I thank each and every one of you. So we'll go back to gardening in a minute. I'm talking about life because things are going to be cut off. A lot of the import stuff, the trades are going to be changing. You're not doing much right now. Collards are the only thing green in the garden. Oh, you are so lucky, Rita's Roost. I had to buy collards because I only had one here, one there, a few Swiss chard, a few kale. The bugs were eating them, but I'm going to leave them out there until spring and maybe they'll come back again or I will replant some seeds. But life is going to be changing, you guys. And not only that, the all the recalls. There are no recalls in your garden. You eat what you got. Oh, you're going online in 15 minutes? Okay, thank you. And I will be on for quite some time, so a lot of people can do more than one channel. So I was in the laundry room and somebody came in and said, "Move that little table and you can unplug the machine." We're talking about one of those big commercial machines that's taller than me. I couldn't reach over it to where the cord was. And talking about move around it, hunty, I am not moving a lick in a pie factory. Do you hear me? So the maintenance man came in, unplugged it, plugged it back in, which you can do with most machines, your computer, your sewing machines. Oh, by the way, those of you who sew, make sure your machine is plugged into a power surge, not a not a not into the wall in case of power surges. Okay, so back to gardening. Hi, Sissy Joanne Stevens. Thanks for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. So let's get back to what we're talking about here, the gardening. How many of you have planted garlic or collards or whatever? What do you have going on? Is your garden dead for the fall? Mine should be, but there's still stuff out there. Some geraniums are still blooming. I planted, okay, you guys talk. Well, I opened my iPad because I'm thinking I can show you. Oh, wait, isn't this cute? This is what my garden looked like before I got the containers and the raised beds. So, and my friends and I dug it all up, pulled all the grass out. But guess what? See if I can do this. So, this is, I don't know, this is the garlic that I planted. This was about 20, 25 bulbs. The bulbs were not that big because they were hard neck gardening. Katie Overland Greenland Quilter says her gardening season was over in October. Here in Connecticut, we have a short growing season, and I don't. But the garlic in my zone stays all year. As a matter of fact, it takes 9 months, and as soon as the heads come up and I can see it, you have weeds. You're growing weeds. The cats have the stray cats have killed your flower bed. Awkward quilter. I read that orange peelings help deter cats. So I eat a lot of the little cuties, the little oranges. I just throw mine in there, but some critter is eating them and taking them away. You have stray cats in your litter bed. So I don't know. I would think the cats would keep away the squirrels that would keep away. I have a chipmunk farm that lives in part of the garden. I have a community garden, and the chipmunk looks up and sees me and like, "Are you in my garden, Mr. Hershey? Come." He's watching the door. Somebody's out there. He's a trained dog. So I wanted to show you guys. Oh, so we went out today so that I can show you if it will come up. Had a harvest. Ain't she cute? I found 7 little potatoes. One was about the size of the nail on your pinky finger, a couple little onions, and the potatoes reseeded themselves because I didn't take them out. Hello, our treasured home. Thank you for coming, Nancy, and welcome, welcome, welcome. So I harvested these. I will be cooking them with some onions and garlic. Why? Because I just want to taste the taste of fresh potatoes, and they taste 100% better than the ones you grow in the store. So, trying to figure out how to do this because this, oh well, I don't know what's going on. Touching buttons. So, tonight, what we will be doing is upcycling a vintage embroidered apron. I will be sewing handles on it because it didn't have, I mean, not handles, ties, so that it can be used. It was hand embroidered. I rescued it a couple of years ago, and it's just been sitting there. When I got that, I also obtained this. It looks like a machine embroidered linen, real linen napkin. I love the feel of linen. And why I'm telling you this, and look how the edges are on this. I used to love these rolled hand edges. My grandmother used to embroider a lot. Auntie Joanne Stevens and my maternal grandmother used to embroider. And they didn't have money back during, hey Sonia, just gift it. Thanks for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. They didn't have a lot of money. My mother was actually born during the Depression. Mother, I'm telling your business in 1931. And so My grandfather had hogs, and she had bitty chickens, she said. She used to call them little bitties. And hey, can't stop. Thank you for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. I've been seeing you rolling in that big truck early in the morning, 4 o'clock when I turn over to walk down the hall to Mother. I'm not going to say tinkle on the air. I'm not going to say that. So I had to roll over. And yeah, yeah. About 3 o'clock every morning. Everybody who's on that time of morning knows I'm up. But I watch on TV. I give everybody the thumbs up, but I can't always get back to catch up. So going back to this handmade, and my grandma, she used to bleach out. The feed sacks used to be some type of cloth or some type of cotton. I actually, oh, what I use for a little portable computer stand over there is actually a feed sack. But they had different feed sacks, and my grandmother used to bleach them out and then hand embroider them and use them for pillowcases. Maria Graham says, "Hello, Mother." My daughter called me today because guess what? Next Thursday, you guys, we're having a party. Everybody say swinging to the radio. Anyway, it's my birthday. It's my birthday next week, November 13th. Happy birthday to me, 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 me. It's actually next Wednesday, but I'm celebrating on Thursday. So you have to come by and see what is going on. Hey, Mike, just watched your videos. I saw those fat squirrels. The only place I've seen fatter squirrels than in my yard is in Mike's yard. And they are fat, fat, fat. So going back to this, I'm going to iron it and starch it. And when I do, I'm going to be cooking more, at least once a month, in Auntie Nana's kitchen, you guys. So I will be in there burning, hopefully not burning up any food. I've actually got some beans soaking now. I was going to soak like a half of a pack, which is 1 cup. Mommy taught me. I have so many things. Speaking of traditions, growing up, my mother can cook anything. She's an excellent baker. Pies, her pie crust. They big boned it. Yeah, I'm big boned it too. I am thick, thick, thick. But mommy makes her pie crust, and I never learned how to make her pie crust. I can only use a recipe pie crust from one of these books up here because I don't know if you can see Betty Crocker up there and some of the vintage cookbooks because my family never wrote anything down. Speaking of traditions, and that's what I'm trying to do. Psalm 146. Thanks for coming. I know Bean Pies is over there. Tell Beans I said hi. Don't fat shame your babies. I'm not. I'm not. You know, I don't talk about other folk kids. Other folk kids. So, yep, I harvested 7 little potatoes, 2 little onions, got my garlic planted this week. And I have an aide that comes in 3 days a week and she helps me. And I made the best turkey broth. Yeah, I haven't talked to you guys about that. I was cleaning out my freezer because it's harvest time. I don't have a lot of things in my garden. I went to the farmer's market. I got Brussels sprouts. I mean, you name it, you name it. Eggplant. I was going to cook the little eggplant, and then my daughter said that mommy wanted some eggplant parmesan. My mother cooks hers from scratch. So I'm getting ready to, I think I'll just save it and make a little bit for her. I have a funny story to tell you guys. So when I used to have the Cane Corso Italian Mastiffs, I started here in Connecticut. And I had, hey, Darth, thanks for coming and welcome. Hello to anybody I didn't see to say hello to, including those in the bushes. I know it's a work day for some people. Barb Brownlee, thank you for coming and welcome. So, I had a client from Maine. She used to be a professional ice skater, and like Olympic style ice skater. And I forgot what her boyfriend used to do. She lived up in Maine. So she saved up, she bought a Cane Corso. It's a rare, at that point, it was a rare breed dog. And my dogs were all champion bred. I used to show my dogs. I would keep the pick of the litter and sell the others. And I had very exclusive elite dogs. So anyway, Katie saved up and she got this dog. She had even been in movies skating. This Katie. And so she would go from Maine sometimes to California for training with her boyfriend. Hershey, don't start. Hershey. Excuse me, you guys. I'm going to put mute on 1 minute. Hershey, no. Stop. Come. You guys, thanks. I'm just rolling. Okay, sorry. Sorry, you guys. I'm unmuted now. So I will go to the part. Katie, the skater, she called me. I had moved from Connecticut to North Carolina for the dogs. Awkward Quilter said, I was just talking away. Yeah, that would be me. And Nikki was the first one that had me go live on her channel, you guys. So Katie called and she was talking and she was about to make some eggplant parm. So I said, oh, my mother makes the best eggplant parm. And she doesn't use tomato sauce. She used, my mother used fresh tomatoes. So Katie said, Auntie Ellen, is your mother Italian? And I said, no, wellness with Frugal Mama. Thanks for coming and welcome. So Katie said, is your mother Italian? She was Boston. Katie was Boston Italian, moved to Maine and lived at that point. And I said, no, my mother is black. There was a pregnant pause because Cady had one of those real Boston accents and everything, when she went to park the car in the Harvard Yard and stuff. So she was so quiet. She didn't say a word. So I said, Katie, are you there? She said, yeah. She goes, you really got me with that one. I guess because of my Connecticut accent, before you see me, people don't know that I'm black. It's just my accent. I cook Southern. People say, "Oh, she can't cook. She's from child. I can cook my tail off. I can cook anything you can cook. I can cook. I can really cook." But anyway, that's my Katie story. So you guys gardening. The garlic is in the ground. I have 55 cloves. And the hardneck garlic doesn't get big like those of you with elephant garlic or some of the others. So in the picture that you saw with them all separated, Oh, and I cut my finger. I got a pretty deep cut in my finger, so I had a hard time pulling them apart. Oh, thank you, Joanne Stevens, for outlining all the. I don't know how to take a screenshot on this computer. I will do it on my phone. Okay, so I don't mean to miss any of you. And next week, I'm going to drop the link. And I hope some of you guys come up live to tell me why you joined the channel. I'm very excited. And it's the King's birthday, too. Who? No, not King Hershey. No, no, no. The real king. The King of England, King Charles, because we were both born on November 13th, 1948. 1948. Excuse me. Uh-oh. I didn't bring my water. Don't tell me I'll be So I'll take a break and get some in a minute. So let me go on to first my eye is watering. So you guys, now that I'm not muted, you can't hear my AC, can you? Because it's a big AC. I'm in the room with it on, and the AC is big enough it will cool my whole unit. And it's this unit's only 800 square feet, but this AC is supposed to go up to like 14,000 square feet because I don't like to be hot and sweaty. I would rather put a sweater on and be cold than be hot. Both you and Chuck at Royalty. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we started talking about traditions because everybody has a tradition. Whether it's you, I have learned things from you guys. I have learned things from you guys. I learn from everybody. I know that you come and say that you learn things from me, but I learn from the youngest people. I have a 4-year-old great grandson that I learned things from. That little boy is coding already on his iPad. He's had an iPad since he was 6 months old. Yes, Nikki. Whoopi Goldberg's birthday is November 13th, too, but she's much younger than me. She's like my kids' ages, you guys' ages, some of you. You don't know ASC. Oh, you don't hear it? Okay. So it's like a white noise in the background. So, going back to traditions, you have a tradition, those of you who are growing things, how you plant things. I have a tradition. I will be growing indoors for Mike's Chaotic Gardening, WIG Indoor Grow Off. I'm saving some of my strength because I live in a cold climate, as do some of the others of you. Oh, you know what? Put in the chat, you guys, what grow zone you're in. And if you're in another country or something, put your country or your state in the grow zone. I'm in Connecticut, 6B. I can put things on here without messing up the chat. So thank goodness for our phones, right? So I'm in Connecticut, 6B. So 6B and lower have even 7B. But you know what's interesting about Connecticut? And we're having a drought. Darth X says he likes Whoopi. Okay. Maria Graham is in zone 8B. WIG 2024 starts December 1st. Hey, you guys, it's already November 7th. I'm saving my juice. I cleaned off my area near my arrow garden. I have a lead pot that I won because I was the queen of WIG 2022 and I won. This elder of you guys won the grow off. And I was growing indoors and I planted seeds. I started things in my hydroponics unit, then use all these different lights around here. I had grow lights in the bathroom. I used the kitchen stove, the light above it to germinate plants with things up. I did everything. So, the everyday life of an OCD-ish chick is in 7B. Darth X is in 9A, 8B. Dolores, hey, Dolores. Oh, Dolores. Dolores has some indoor grow units, but I'm not going to tell you about it. When I drop the link next week, maybe she'll come up. Barb Brownlee is in Grow Zone 5B, 6A, starting up a hydroponic system to grow all winter. Awkward Quilter says she will watch the rest of the replay. Thanks for coming and welcome, 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 you guys. So, the gardening part, I am so excited. I will be making some kombucha as well. I will be making apple cider vinegar, and I've been making that, you guys, for 50 years. Some of my books, my helper was saying, "Well, can't you get rid of some of these things?" Child, please. I already downsized. She watches. All these are like wine making books from here to here. These are wine making books. Yes, I have recipe books for making wine. I can make any kind of wine you want. You can make wine out of any vegetable, any fruit. And a lot of vegetables are fruits. Why? Because they have seeds in them. And I've been doing this for years. Auntie Joanne will tell you this book was my favorite book. I have some, oops, no, oh no, no. These books all got dusted this week because I had somebody in. And this says wine recipes. You can make, I've made strawberry wine, plum wine, tea wine. You can make it just out of tea. Black tea, the same black tea that you use for kombucha. And you can put honey in it. It's called something else. But I have I have my things saved up. I won't talk about making wine in public, mother, but every type of wine there is, they talk about Demerara sugar. That's Brussels sprouts wine. Yes, Mike, you can make Brussels sprouts wine if you want to. If that's your thing, do what you want to do. Rhubarb wine, red currant wine, um, lemon barley, marrow cream. You can make brandy. You can make ginger. Oh my gosh. Garden State so and so. Hi, Robin. Thanks for coming and welcome. Your state is in a drought too. How is your garden? And what are you sowing? Auntie Ellen's house is fun. Good food, good fun, good drinks. I'll tell you what, the people who are wine connoisseurs, one of my neighbor's sister friends, her daughter is a professional sommelier. Sommelier is a French word for professional wine tasters. Yes, carrot wine, Darth X. In fact, I just passed carrot wine, apple wine. And what I didn't know, Demerara sugar meant brown sugar. Oh, you see, I reversed this with Dolores's help. I found out why when some of you are live and your t-shirt and everything you do is backwards, there's a way to fix it. There's a way to fix it, but you consult Dolores and set up a payment plan, and she will help you through that. So, apple wine, fresh apricot wine, dried apricot wine, barley wine, beetroot wine. I bet that's a pretty color. I haven't made that. Blackberry wine, blamble, black currant wine, bullet plum wine, and carrot wine. If you guys want to screenshot that, I'm not going to be advocating carrot wine. Can you guys see that? I know you can see it. The recipe for carrot wine. I've got a lot of carrots, but I have them grated up already. Why? It's not alive if I don't drop something, you guys. Okay, can you hear me? Oh, this is what I use for recipe cards when I write things down. Beetroot wine would be awesome. I was telling you about the ginger beer. Ginger beer, pineapple wine, like when you're canning pineapple, if you save the skin and you ferment it with brown sugar, it ferments like in about a couple of weeks. It's called tepache, and it's something that the Hawaiians and Native Americans use a lot. It's called tepache. Yeah, you can Google that and find it. And so this is an actual recipe book that I have had for like over 50 years. I bought my first house in 1973, when I was 24 years old. And I bought that house by myself. Cherry wine, colt's foot wine. I don't know what a colt's foot is, but some of you guys in other countries might know. Cowslip wine, damson wine. These might be English words because someone from the UK wrote this book. You got to start your own sourdough. Ah, it's nice starting it from scratch. I've done that before, not lately. Oh, and I do bake. I bake. As I said, for those of you who came in, I'm going to start cooking live once. Say not in a drought. Oh, you're wet. I wish we had some. I was out there watering my garlic, trying to make it, trying to keep it wet until it at least sprouts. And I'll put 4 inches, like a thick mulch on it. I have my garlic growing in the raised beds so I can find it. Although I stick onions and garlic in all the beds, trying to keep the critters out. So, what else am I looking at? Fig wine. I know a lot of you have figs. That ginger wine and ginger beer. Oh, you haven't had, and the ginger beer is good for your stomach. Me, um, Garden State so and so sewing her scraps into little houses. My garden is done for the year. You water the garlic, yes, because of the drought. G Mama grows hard in the garden, is in here live and in living color, saying hello, hello, hello. I saw you, G Mama, changing your containers from one patio or whatever you call it to a different one. And I'm just talking about some of the written recipes that I've had forever. I had that book Back to Eden back when I had my own that house in 1973. Auntie Joanne was with me when I looked at it before I bought it. That house was trashed. Almost Homesteading with Janet is not in here right now because she's working on her new homestead and she's reclaiming it. My house was in not too far from where Nikki, the everyday life of an OCD-ish chick, lives. And that house was, as I say, toe up. It was toe up. They had animals in the basement. There was raw feces down there. There were bugs. The floor was ruined. The front door was messed up. And this guy, I was young at the time. I was 24, but I had a college degree from Howard University, and my major was business, and my minor was economics. So I was pretty smart. And my dad always had a painting and construction business my whole life. So, hello to everybody in the chat if I didn't say hello. So, I knew about construction. I knew a little bit about contracts and housing contracts. So, Auntie Joanne says that house was toe up from the flow up. So, I wrote, and it was my first time buying a house. And I bought it through HUD, the first time buyers program. And you put so much down. But I knew that a house had to be brought up to a certain livable code. I knew that. And so they had the standard contract, they had their lawyer when we were writing it out, and their agent. I didn't have an agent. I went there by myself, just looking at it. So I wrote in the margins, bring up to what is it, to HUD standards. Well, I put it, paint the inside white, do the floors, replace the floors, and they had to strip all the floors, the hardwood floors, refinish them, put a new door. They were not even speaking to me when we went to the closing. Here's just this one little me, little 135 pound me, and all these powerful people with their lawyers and whatnot. And he said, if I knew I had to do all that, I would have fixed it up and sold it for a lot more. Oh, well, ain't my problem. Ain't my problem. You and your agent and all your fancy lawyers should have handled that. So I got the house, but I did a lot to it. I did a lot to that house. And I did capital improvements, just everything. But that was then, this is now. So back to the wine business. But I was making wine then, you guys. That's what I wanted to tell you. Butter roll. I've been watching you. I've been watching you. I have some crochet projects for those of you who crochet, because I have some really interesting yarn that one of my niece daughters gave me, and I want to make a shawl out of it. If I don't keep the shawl for myself, I will give it to my mom to put it around her shoulders or wear it over my jeans jacket or my jeans vest. Gooseberry. I never grew gooseberries. Gooseberry wine. I'm taking this out. You want to keep falling. So, grape wine, unripe grape wine, for those of you who have bushes. I don't even know what haws are. Haw wine, green gauge wine, because I have all the recipes I like written on those cards like this, 5x8 cards. I like these 5x8 cards because when I handwrite them big enough where I can see them without my glasses, I also handwrite my recipes on them. I put them in the plastic sleeves and put them in a notebook and have them in the area where I will be cooking. So you will be seeing that. Lemon wine, loganberry. I don't know what a loganberry even is. Mangle, MANGEL wine, mangle wine. Okay, this one is interesting. A lot of you have a lot of marigolds because you put them in to keep bugs away from other plants in your garden. Mr. Hershey, stop snooping over there. You can make wine out of marigolds. I've heard of dandelion wine too. I didn't read that here, or maybe I did, or maybe I skipped it, but it should be in here because there is dandelion wine and it's healthy. Oh, maybe I didn't say it, but here's dandelion wine. So now we are at marigold wine and marrow wine. Marrow is something different, you guys. It's not bone marrow, it's something different. So if any of you have any questions about these wines, Darth X says they've grown loganberry. They're good. Oh, that is so interesting. Marrow whiskey. It's like you put the brown sugar in, I guess it's cane sugar stalks, and ferment it. And I'll tell you a secret, you guys. I don't make 1 gallon of wine. It's not even worth my time to do all that work. I have a fermenter. I don't make less than 5 gallons at a time. There were years that I used to make 60, 80 gallons of wine at a time. I would buy the pre-pressed wine from a wine place in Connecticut when I was working because it was easier. And they would ship it from California, and it would be these 5 gallon things. And then all I had to add, you don't have to add sugar in grape wine, you guys, because it will ferment in and of itself if you do the right things. And I would get those and order them, have them delivered to my mom's house. and mommy has those Biltco doors, those metal doors that open up like this, and they're secure doors, and I would have the company come and deliver them and bring them down the basement. But we didn't tell Daddy, because at that time Daddy didn't go up and down the steps. He didn't walk well. So I put all this wine I was going downstairs. So I would get two 5-gallon containers, or one 5-gallon for mom of red, one of white. I would make the best champagne, you guys. The best champagne. And I would make it with the champagne yeast. And I would make one for my sister, two for me, two of the dark grape and the white. But you have to take some out. It's actually a 6-gallon container because it has to have room to breathe. Another funny story. So one day I had the grapes delivered in the wine things, and we brought one in the kitchen. And my dad came home from mommy said, "Oh, I'm going to get Daddy from adult daycare." So she went to get Daddy, and I was in the kitchen, and I decided to put the sugar. I don't even think I put the yeast in this wine yet. In the kitchen, this thing started foaming over. Oh, Lord have mercy. All over the kitchen floor. It was like peroxide or something was poured on the floor. And it just kept coming and coming and coming and coming. My mom doesn't cuss, but she said, "You better get that spit up before Daddy missed you. Hey, Francesca, long time no see. You missed me? I saw you in full. I watched you and Yankee Sister the whole entire replay yesterday because I was in here exercising and working on today's project. And I just had you all on in the background. Hello, family. And by the way, Francesca, you look beautiful. You had your pearls on, your earrings with the pearls. I seen you. I seen you. Tell you, Joanne Stevens says that plum wine was the bomb. So in 1980, about 1985, I was living in California with, oh, I don't know whether I lived with Auntie Joanne or I was at Venice Beach or somewhere else in California. G Mama says, "You have enough wine to make time to make wine for the holidays. You have some juice you want to use up. You can make grape juice from the store wine. All you have to do." Oh, Francesca says, "Thank you kindly." You're welcome. You're welcome. And yes, you have time. It won't. Now, the best wine, I'll be honest, takes 6 months to mature, but you can be tasting it. You can be tasting it. So I made this plum wine when I was in California, like say 1985. I have lived, for those of you trying to figure out, I was born and raised in Connecticut. So I went through my high school years in Connecticut. Then I went to Washington, D.C. I lived there on and off for 20 years. Then I went to while I was in DC, we bought the property in North Carolina in 1982. So I didn't always live there though. So it was raw land. We put the wells on, the septic tanks, other buildings on it. But I left there and went to California for, I don't know, another 20 years. And I went to graduate school there and some other things. You want to get green gage plum? Anybody that wants to know how to make any kind of wine and have the exact recipe and not be guessing, I have it. I have it. Hershey, you heard me say Auntie Joanne. He wants to make a guest appearance. For those of you who came in later, he he has a sweater on because I bought a new AC and my temperature in here is 70 degrees. Sometimes it goes all the way up to 72. People who are no cold natures know not to come to my house or I have to turn it off. So I was in California and I bought these plums from not too far away. At that time, Auntie Joanne lived in Linwood, California, which is near Long Beach. And so we lived there, but there was a place called Downey. She says, "Oh, he's cute. He's a little therapy dog. He's a registered service therapy dog. And he's 11 years old and he's blind." So I bought these black plums and they were crazy expensive. And I let them get too ripe. I was not throwing them away. I don't have thick blood on yet. Oh, so I made some wine and I gave it to Auntie Joanne. She still has the bottle. I put it in a dark bottle. I told her don't drink it because wine separates after a while. When once the air gets in it, it separates. But the wine that I made, the sommelier could tell you, it was better than some of the bottles of wine that you pay $50 for. I make good wine. I have all the stuff when turf therapy and I forgot who, all those were making wine. I was supposed to go up with them. Tamika Davis. Hello and thank you. I have all the siphon things, the meters that you can measure the alcohol in it, because in order to sell wine, it has to be a certain, it's a federal law, you guys. It's a federal law that the wine needs to be watered down to a certain strength. And I know it's 21%. How do I know that? Burr, your house 75 to 76. Okay, because I used to have an ABC license. I had a small country store, the Sugar Shack, when I lived in North Carolina. I'd say from 1980 to 1985, and I had that little store. And I had a beer and wine license. I used to sell beer and wine way out in the country that I would get from the distributors and sell it in the store. We also had slot machines at that time, and you would like to be warm. You never made wine. But one time you bought Welch's grape juice and forgot about it. It went to open it. It was wine testing. Yeah, you can use wine for communion. Some churches use real wine. Real wine. So the wine has to breathe, you guys, when you're making it. So you have to make room for that and allow for it. I have some videos. I have to go and separate them out because I was fermenting, I was making ginger beer. Then I decided, never mind, I'm going to put some yeast in mine and a little extra sugar, give it a kick. And I made ginger beer. Baby, that beer was kicking. One more quick story before we sew something. And I moved to Venice Beach one time when I was in California, those 20 years. One of my places I lived at Venice Beach. And somewhere I bought this big container. It was 30 gallons. Oh, and one of the strongest wines you will ever make will be rice wine, raisin rice sake. Mother, remember when I made that down in the basement? So I had all kinds of wines going on in my mother's basement. It's about a 2,500 square foot basement, and there are different rooms. Stop, Hershey. Hershey, stop. And in the basement, there's a room that mommy had was a canning room. Hey, kicking ginger beer. You have to look into this. Email me, Darth X ellenpanky@gmail.com, and I will send you the written recipe. You don't gotta guess. It's already written down. So why reinvent the wheel? Dave Busby. Hello, Dave Busby. Thanks for coming and welcome. That raisin rice wine. Ah, that's what we're going back to. So I had this 30-gallon container and I was making this raisin rice wine. Well, one day when it started fermenting, I guess after about 30 days, I wanted to taste it. I didn't have all those little tester things, and I didn't have the wine yeast, like I use now, professional wine yeast. It was the baking yeast that I put in it. You had rice wine and onion wine when you were in Korea. You like the onion wine? I never tried that one. Never tried that one. But the raisin wine is trying. I can raise my hand and put one on the Gideon Bible and can tell you it is the real deal. But sake, the rice wine that's in Korea, Japan, whatever, you don't drink it by the glass. You don't drink. It's more like a shot, a half shot, and you only put a little bit in it. A little bit in it. Some people drink. I get it. Some people don't. I get that as well. But everybody's grown and do what you like to do. So going back to the raisin rice wine, and me coming home from work, so I had a literal juice glass, not a drinking glass, which is an orange juice glass. It's not that big. So would come home. Mike says his chat is usually stopping, and you have to refresh silly YouTube. Sorry about that. Don't tell the onion haters. Was that when yes, Joanne? I stripped the wax off the floor, but I'll tell you about that. I would come in and then suddenly it had a little kick. Then one day I came home, got this little juice glass, and I drank the wine, went in my room, and I had my bedroom at Venice Beach. It was like just a block from the beach, a block from Gold's Gym, a few blocks from World's Gym, where all the athletes. What is it? The Venice Beach, the Iron Gym they had over there. So I used to be a bodybuilder. I used to lift weights all the time. So I came home and I drank this wine, went in my room, laid down, looked up, baby. The room started spinning. The room started spinning. Oh my goodness. It was wine time. It was wine time. The room started spinning. And then I looked it up. I was like, oh my goodness. I've never been drunk. I don't drink to get drunk. And I only had this little juice glass. The room started spinning. Somebody told me that if you drink too much in college, the college days, and the room starts spinning, you put your foot on the floor. You know what? I put the foot on the floor. I had this king size bed that took almost my whole room in at the beach. The good way age wine was too much. The room popped the clutch and jumped from first gear to third gear and went even faster. For those of you who drive a stick shift, that was the miserablest. So it took me a while because I didn't have containers to put this wine in, right? So I put it in the kitchen at Venice Beach. I had a stackable washer and dryer, clothes washer and clothes dryer. And I came home one day before I got it all bottled up, right? And I came home and outside my door, I'm like, smells like liquor out here. Smells like liquor out here. I opened the door. The whole 30-gallon container, I forgot what they call those big bottles, that water come in, had exploded. Oh my goodness. There were pieces of glass and wine all in the ceiling fan, in the cracks of the washer and dryer, behind it. It's it stripped the wax off the floor. It was the strongest. It was the strongest. I never made anything like that again because I would test it after 30 days, strain it, bottle it. So that was my water makes you drunker. Found that out many years ago. That was funny. So, okay, we have talked about the garden. Let's talk about the quilts, which is an art. Quilting is an art, a lost art form. And I would like for you guys to see some of what I have done this week. So since last week you voted that I sew on my great granddaughter's quilt. So while we were live, I showed you how I was making a rag quilt, and I already had the twosies done. Sangria is one of your favorites. I like putting fruit in there. I like buying sometimes wine at the store and putting the fruit in it and making a sangria. So last week, you guys saw me take the twosies and make foursies. So we did that, and I went through all of the squares for my great granddaughter, Barbara. I said, "Oh no, Auntie Ellen, you are hilarious." Yeah, mommy said, "You better get that up off the floor." I was trying to strip the wax off my mother's floor, except she had wood floors. That going back to the wine, Daddy came in. He's tapping his tank. Well, looking around, he's looking around the kitchen. I had gotten all the wine up and covered up the 5-gallon container of it in the kitchen with a little thing you put in it that it bubbles. It was over there bubbling away, bubbling away. We hurry up and gave Daddy dinner so he could go in his room on the other side of the house, on the other side of the kitchen, the dining room, the den, the living room, the entrance foyer, and his room. We giddy up and got Daddy out of there. Okay, so back to quilting. So I just want you to see I have all the foursies done. What do I do with the foursies? I sew them together end to end, and I will assembly line quilt them. You see this? See how this goes? Then I'll put the next one, the next one, the next one. And this is the easiest quilt you can possibly make, a rag quilt. For those of you who are new, it's 3 layers. This is the top layer. I have cotton batting, and for this one, I have a soft felt batting. This one would be difficult to do by hand. It could be done if you used a thimble, but you have to be very careful because when you're cutting, what you do is you cut all these thick seams. You cut them a 1/4 inch apart and wash it, and that's what makes the fringe. So this will be over in a couple sessions. You know why I am never bored? Because I'm always doing multiple things. Thank you, Garden State So and so, and everybody in here. So going back to the quilting, and before I move this, so next week is my birth anniversary, and I'm going to do a giveaway. So, live next Thursday, I will finish either one of the. I think I'll finish this one for my birthday because it has more burgundy in it. It's closer to purple. I will put this backing on it, and we'll do this live, and I will do a giveaway. I will do a giveaway of, oh yes, you can see the top if I move my big head. And so this one will be given away as a casserole pad or a table runner. I was just looking, I didn't realize this this white looking fabric, if I move it, is kind of iridescent. It's sparkly. This one. I had forgotten. So I will be finishing this, and this will be my giveaway for my birthday. And I'm just going to do a flip and sew on it. Stop, Hershey. Excuse me, sir. Come. Sorry, you guys. My child is acting up. So this is going to have a cotton because I like cotton. There are different battings you can use or fillings that are heat proof. I don't like all those things that are treated. I just like cotton and whatever. I have some of it, but I don't use it. And this backing will be on this one. Why? Because these are vintage fabrics, vintage kind of fabrics. This one will be a giveaway for Thanksgiving. And this will be the backing for that one. And this were some of the things I've sewn live. And I'm using fabric that I have in my stash. And I'm not buying anything. unless it's for a special project. I belong to a couple quilting groups, one being Quilt Africa Fabrics, and I get engaged with at least one challenge quilt. It's like challenge gardening. And this week, you didn't win in 24, Sam. Oh, congratulations in advance. Okay, so that's what I'm doing with the quilting. You guys, this is my Underground Railroad story quilt. While I was off this week, why I never get bored, we chose the gold binding. So I sewed it on from the front. I'm going to tuck it down like this in the back. You see all this beautiful machine quilting. So I will be hand sewing, hand sewing every quarter inch, one of my tiny little stitches. The corners are mitered corners. You turn them under and do this for those of you who are quilters. And so I will be doing that. And I worked on that this week. I worked on that this week. And I wanted to show you one thing. Those of you, now this is something you can make by hand because it's Stop Hershey. It's a little bit bigger. It's a table runner, and the blocks are set on point. And it's double sided. This one is used. This is one for that I use in my house on the table. And I was going to change for Christmas, but there's too many colors going on. I'll keep the one that's up there. So these are with mostly African and batiks. And you can see that, well, I'll fold it in half so I can show you half by half on my little thick frame. That's why I like wearing dark shirts because they don't clash with the quilts. Beautiful quilt and table runner. Thank you. Robin Murphy said that's pretty. But some of you who quilt, you see this one here, this one set on point. This is two blocks. This one is one, two, three, four. These two are four, but the rest of them are five, I believe. One, two, three, four, five. Yeah, because I made one when I was at Auntie Joanne's house. I set the blocks out on the floor of the guest. I wasn't a guest room. I sleep in one of the guest bedrooms. It's Uncle Roscoe's office that I commandeered. I'm a guerrilla gardener, a guerrilla quilter. Everywhere I go, I set up stuff. I usually take my little featherweight quilter, which is a miniature quilter, heavy duty, strong quilt, well, not quilter, sewing machine. Except I don't take one to Auntie Joanne's house because she has a vintage featherweight 221. It's a 1943 and it's even prettier than mine. Hers has the scroll plate. So these are just random 5-inch blocks. They're called charm squares. You can buy them pre-cut, you guys. You can buy them pre-cut and do them. Somebody asked a question about my hand stitching. I couldn't hold a needle because I can take this band-aid off. When my son was little, he gonna kill me. In the bushes, you forgot. It gets dark in 20 minutes. Here on the East Coast, it is dark outside. It's dark. It's dark. Hold on, you guys. Hope I don't show you all my junk on my sofa. You're seeing all the junk on my sofa. Okay. Those pillows on there, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because I never use it, are going out before Christmas. The pink one belongs to one of my great granddaughters. But you see outside the blinds? It's totally dark outside. So I actually live. And some of the stuff in those bags are stuff I'm putting in from the garden that, oh, you guys, I just figured something out. How about this? I just figured out how to do it. Uh-oh, now I can't stop. Okay. So I'm learning Restream, you guys. You need to get your broccoli. Nice. I got Brussels sprouts from the farmer's market. I have to cook them because it's been a week. I cook my Brussels sprouts. I soak them in water with lemon slices. Then I saute some bacon and use the fat and put them in that. Then I put some balsamic vinegar and salt and pepper over it. I know I should put the camera up. My helper said when we were planting the garlic, when we finished, she said, "You didn't take a picture. You didn't put it on your site." Nah, I forgot. Oh, by the way, before I forget, I was speaking of my granddaughter. She texted me to say that one of the guys at her work donated 2 more pairs of denim jeans for my denim quilt projects. I'm still trying to make one for myself and maybe her. Rumbo, Green Hans, man, me saw you looking over there in your, oh, I forgot what you call those gardens, your garden. And I saw the pumpkins you planted in the other side of the garden. Good deal. Good deal. I will be dropping the link next Thursday for anybody who would like to come up live and talk about why you come to the channel, why you support me. And I appreciate each and every one of you. My mother so enjoys watching the replay or watching when she can see it live and seeing the interaction with you guys. You guys really have become part of my family. Why? Because good friends become family, and family is everything. Not all friends. Everybody ain't your friend, first of all. Everybody ain't your friend, and you need to know that. You need to stay woke, keep your eyes open, because everybody is not your friend. And you need to stock up, by the way, for the upcoming months. The winter's supposed to be harsh. You don't know what's going on with ships coming in from other countries because politically the scenes are going to be changing. Life is going to be changing. And Ramo Greenhans, you reminded me of this, sir, because we're speaking of over the pond. And over the pond, King Charles and I have the same birthday. It's in the chat. 11/13/1948. We were born on the same exact day, the same exact time. And his wife Camilla, I think, left the castle or something. I watch all kinds of news. I watch everything on TV. And there's something going on in the royal castle. But anyway, back to the States because we are going to work on our project and it's going to be really quick. You love seeing my projects. I have awesome life stories. Thank you. This is real life. I don't invent stuff to have content. I share my life with you. I will be 76 years old next Thursday. I keep looking in the mirror. I don't know how 76 is supposed to feel when I talk about something I forgot to do. So true. Love you, Auntie. Thank you, Dolores. I love you too. I love all of y'all, as Daddy used to say to his kids. And no, he didn't. And I've said this before. He would say, I love all you girls. But Daddy was the kind of man, he's not going to tell another man that he loves him. He would show him true love and true strength and true backbone, but he would never say that to the boys. He would never kiss the boys. He would never kiss the boys. No, we kiss Daddy and Mom. He would kiss the girls, the boys. No, my grandson and my nephews, when Dad was kind of like bedridden, but he still had incredible upper body strength. This guy was 6'4", and in his youth about 175 pounds. He could pick up washing machines. He was just tall and wiry. And now I understand why he used to have to get his suits made. Dave Busby says his mom will be 89 on the 21st. Happy birthday, Mother Busby. I don't know if she has the same name as you. last name, but good friends become family, and family is everything. And you guys are so close, so true. You come, you visit, you stay. I wish you were closer so I can fix y'all some food. I was supposed to be cooking 1 cup. Mommy always said 1 cup of rice, 1 cup of beans, whatever you're cooking, 1 cup of pasta. When it's cooked, it's 2 cups. So that's another family tradition, things that I've always known. And so what am I doing? I'm soaking a 1 pound pack of beans. Why am I cooking so much? Because my aide told me that she says, "How come you never cook beans?" I just haven't cooked it the 2 weeks that you've been here. I usually cook beans once a week, and if I cook a lot, I give them away. So I have some chicken broth that I'm going to open that was made by, oh, Dave Busby says, yes, she does have the same name. Oh, happy birthday, Mrs. Busby. And to you. And so I have a whole thing of beans. I would like to put some okra in it, but I only have or 2 packs of okra in the freezer, and I'm saving that for my oxtail soup. There will be oxtail soup coming up, and so I'm saving it. But I did have it. I made turkey this week because I was cleaning out the freezers. I told you I made a meatloaf, tried to give most of that away. I made soup. I gave some to my neighbor, one of my neighbors upstairs. I made bone broth, which I turned into turkey soup. All the meat that fell off the back, if you would come back to California and Bellflower's right next door. Bellflower's right next door to Downey and Linwood. I actually lived in Linwood, Dave Busby, a block away from Linwood High School. Yep, and those houses, you guys, have such big lots. Such big lots. Auntie Joanne and Uncle Roscoe had a 3-car garage back there. A pool was back there in that house. That was a pretty big house. I'm not talking about your house now, sissy. I'm not telling your business. And that house, I think, had 4 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. I lived there for a while in 1 bedroom. Y'all should see what. Hey, Ruby Spot. I was watching you cooking stuff and cooking stuff and cooking stuff and praying. And I gave the thumbs up. I haven't been able to get back this week to everybody's channels and leave messages. All of you who have channels I watch, but it's like there are not enough hours in a Hershey stop in a day. It took me half a day today to do laundry. Famous, rooted in essential oils. Welcome, 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 welcome. Rooted in essential oils. You guys, each of you drop your channel. He does what his channel says. Essential oils. I have a lot of essential oils. I just don't talk about it because I get them in the big 16-ounce containers, but I put them in my vaporizer. I have a vaporizer that holds over a gallon. I fill it up twice a day because I have it on the highest percentage of water because I get I have bronchitis and the leaves are falling from the trees. They have dust in them. I have sinusitis. I have everything. Let's go do our quick little project, you guys. I'm so excited. So if there's anybody I didn't see in the chat, hold on and I will be at the machine, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Okay. So here I am. Slowly I turn, inch by inch, step by step, whatever to the left of me, something to the right of me. So I'm already set up for you guys, making sure that I don't knock this off, getting you straight. We don't want to forget our bell, do we? No, we don't want to forget our bell. Something might happen and we need to celebrate. So, okay, so that's a bit far over. Hope I'm not throwing you guys up. Lorraine T. Hermana. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Lorraine T's mom lives not too far from me, and I'm due for a visit, Lorraine T. I miss you. I miss you. Okay. You love the shirt. Thank you. I don't know how many of you who'll be interested, but I will be putting out some merch. And the first merch will be aprons with traditions. And you notice it does not say GQUAT traditions because I want all of you to establish your own traditions and do something in the world that can be passed down. It could be what GQUAT stands for. It could be gardening tradition. Most of the traditions I have, most of the cooking recipes I inherited. Tamika Davis. If I didn't say hi, hello, or if I forgot I said hello, hello. Why? Because at my age, talk, you can't remember everything. So, this is what we're going to do real quick. I have this apron, and it is handmade. Partially, the embroidery is by machine. I will stand up. And this is what the bottom looks like. It's so beautiful. I don't want to let it go. So, let me show you what's wrong with it and why I'm working on it today. Because you guys can find stuff like that. I look like a Springer Spaniel. I encourage each of you to go to secondhand stores. This didn't come from a secondhand store, but Auntie Joanne and I, in our travels and stuff, we find all kinds of stuff that was handmade. So this was made a while ago. Garden State so and so loves my shirt. Thank you. I like this. This is a tree of life. This is reaching out to the world and being the foundation to a tree and leaves and branching out and leaving things to others. So this apron, I could I inherited it, but not from a family member. I don't know this lady. She was German. There was a note in with some of the crocheted blocks, and this apron I decided to keep for myself. She was an elderly woman from Germany, and she had all these things. But see here where it's coming loose? I'm going to fix it. I'm going to fix that. I'm going to fix where the pocket is coming off. And I don't know what happened here. The straps were never finished. The straps were never finished. So, stop, Hershey. So, I made some straps. I made some straps. And what I'm going to do is, and I'll show you. So this is a 5-inch piece of, no, it's not 5 inches because I knew that I sew a lot. I'll tell you, 5 inches, if you fold it up like the size of a charm square, it ends up being, this is how big. This is 5 inches folded up. I knew I didn't want a strap this big, so I made it a little bit smaller. So, because that's what I cut up 5-inch strips to make my key fobs, and I make a lot of key fobs, a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. I make the lanyards. When I first moved to an apartment, I had not lived in an apartment since the 1980s. I locked myself out 2 times in one day. Duh. So I actually have my keys around my neck. And when I moved here, my daughter came. She's so funny. She tries to keep me on point. I talk to her because I was going to go to mom's house this weekend to celebrate my birthday. She told me to come the following weekend because she will be there. She wants to be there for my birthday. And after that, she's traveling again. So back to the strap for the apron. This is a 4.5 inch piece. But what I wanted to show you is I make all my straps, the straps for my bags, the straps for my lanyards. I have the same method. And whatever the size of the fabric, this is a piece of unbleached muslin because it seems that the apron is a type of unbleached muslin. And I have I have a measuring thing. Most fabrics in the United States are 44 inches or 42. Foreign fabrics or made in or foreign countries might be in meters and they're somewhat smaller. But this was 22 inches and I got it pointed down because I want you to see something. So I folded it under on this end. I ironed it. I folded it under on this end. Let me take this little thing off because it's going to bug me. Okay, my OCD-ishness. So I took this strip and I folded it in half after I turned the ends in. Then I folded it in like this in half. Then I folded the other end. I ironed it. Then I folded it over. And I was going to sew around all the edges, but what I think I will do is insert it onto here. It's going to be a little bit bigger, but that's okay. I'm not going to do it to this end, but I'm going to put that end in to reinforce it and to make sure that it doesn't come out. So I'm going to fold this in like this. It looks a little weird, but I want it to be enough to go around a thick girl. Why? Because I'm thick, thick. And I don't know what's going to happen to this apron, whether I'm going to keep it or give it away. But let's go. Let's go. What I'm going to do is clip one end. I'm going to do one end at a time because all I have to do is go around it. Okay. What is this over here? Uh-oh. So, because when I'm cutting fabric, I cut a lot of things. This one is going to be over in the UK, Rambo Green Hans. I know y'all have tea in the afternoon. Oh boy, when I visit the UK, I love going to high tea. So, this is a little teapot thing, like when you bring in the teapot to the table, or even your cup, or like a giant coaster to put your coffee on in the morning, your coffee mug. So I'm going to sew around here. Oh, and I'm going to leave an opening. I'm going to sew the opening by hand because I want to put a kind of a thick seam around here. So I'm not sure. I may do a second giveaway next week, or I may keep it with the oven with the apron. I mean the table runner. Okay, vote in the chat if you think I should do this as a giveaway on my birthday. It says family and home. Why? Psalm 146. You see the sunflower on here, don't ya? Don't you? Don't you? Don't you? Psalm 146 loves. Oh, there we go. Psalm 146 loves sunflowers. So this is a little quickie. Put a 1 in the chat if you all think I should give it away because on my birthday next week, I usually celebrate my birthday for a month. I'm usually in Arizona for a month. But what I'm going next year to Arizona for a month. So for Auntie Joanne's birthday. So I will stay there. Let me put this on so I can see the chat. I don't know what happened. It went away. So now I can see you guys. So I'm going to put a one in the chat if you would like me. I can't believe nobody would like to get this. This is really cute. You see the teacup is on there already? Family, friend, home. These are things that matter. Things that matter. So let's just hurry up and go around here. Then this will be ready. You call dibs on the sunflowers. Okay. Well, this will be a giveaway. And Ruby Spot says, thank you, Lorraine T. Thank you. Everybody thinks I should give away. So there's going to be a second giveaway because I love sharing with you guys. I like giving you guys a part of me. It's easy to do a Cash App and put $10 in it because that's what it costs to mail just about anything out anywhere. And I see the ones coming up. So I'm just going to do a quick little straight stitch. Why? Because this machine only has a couple fancy stitches and it's not necessary. And you will be able to see the stitches. This is a double-sided, for those who get, it's a double-sided quilted material. So I only had this and I didn't put anything inside it. I didn't put any extra batting. But when you buy it, it's already. I make some of my bags and totes out of this. This is just a black double-sided fabric, and most of the big box stores have have I lost my train of thought for a minute because I'm going to show you something. Most of the big box stores have this double-sided quilted fabric in different colors. Because I'm taking the pin out of this, I'm going to take some chalk. Actually, I really don't need to, except it's hard to see. I'm going to mark where the edges are that I'm going to hand sew. This ugly band-aid, I can take it off. Ah, it's in the way. But this is my boo-boo. It doesn't look like much, but it was really deep and it really hurt. It really hurt. It hurted, mother. It hurted. It hurted me. This is one of those. I'm actually allergic to stuff in elastic. I usually use paper tape, but I needed one of these heavy duty band aids that would stay on even if it got wet. Tush. So, what happened was, okay, so it's going to be a giveaway. I'm glad to see that somebody would like it. So when I hand stitch it, I left a little mark. It doesn't matter because I'm going to sew it shut, but this little piece, I'm going to hand sew the very edge so it doesn't roll open even a little bit. And someone will be getting it, but I'm going to make a kind of a wide stitch around it. I'm not going to stitch, maybe I will, do any inner stitching. Back a little bit. This won't take long. The reason I'm showing you guys this is because you can buy, this is just a piece of fabric, something that's double quilted. I sewed it around with the pretty side in, as Unbiased would say. I turned it inside out. I'm going around it. You can make your own table runners. You can make your own bags. You can make your own anything. And it doesn't take much time. It doesn't make much time to make something beautiful. The only thing I will add to this will be my little label with my name on it so that you remember. Where you got it? Dun, 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 dun. I can't see the chat, you guys, right now, but I'll be with you in 1 second. Uno momento, por favor. Okay. So, I don't know why I pulled all that thread out. So, I got a little piece of string caught here. I'm trying to get it off before I show it to you. Okay, so here it is. It belongs with your mug rug, Psalm 146. Well, put your name in the hat and come home. Come home next week. Come home next week and put your name in. Put your name in. So I think what I'll do, just because I don't want it to lift up on the inside, I will do quilting. Most people call patchwork quilting. Patchwork is when you sew the different blocks together, different pieces together. But actual quilting is when you make a quilt sandwich and there's a top, a bottom, and batting. That's what's actually quilting. So I don't want this, or maybe some of the others might come. But what I'm going to do is put two little lines in here so it doesn't, so that it stays like close together. Just me. Hush, Hershey. Hershey, stop. I don't know why I say hush. That's my grandmother's word. Except she was from Pennsylvania and she used to say Hirsch. And I used to tease her and make fun of her. Nene, what does Hirsch mean? Fresh mouth. I probably got popped in the mouth once a day. So whoever's getting this is getting something that's well made. Just saying. So I'm going to cut this thread. I'll put the label on my own time. I won't hold you guys up for that. Da-da-da-da-da. Oh, that's the string from Hershey's. Knock it off. Stop. He hears something. He never barks unless something was there. I'm actually expecting a delivery today. So that's one line. I sewed along this stitch. Why am I doing this? To show you when you're making something, you say, well, I don't know where to put the stitches. I don't know where to put the quilting. And you see this little opening that I told you about? I'm going to sew it with off-white thread. I hear a lot of discussions about, oh, what kind of thread do you use? Those of you people who hand applique, they only use like a titanium gray or an off-white. They never use matching colors, all that stuff. That's when you really, really have the skills, you know how to sew it, any color thread, especially I don't mean any color, the off-white, so that you can't see it. You won't be able to see it when I hand sew that. So let me put one more quickly little line over here. And I know this thing, it might fade over the years, but guess what? This thing will last. This thing will last 75 years. How about that? Betcha. I won't be here. But when you get to heaven with me, you tell me whoever wins this. Did I go all the way back to the line? Whoever wins this, when you get to the pearly gates with me, you can tell me how long it lasted. That's why a lot of you say, oh, I have my mom's quilts, I have my aunt's quilts. Quilts can last hundreds of years if you make them properly. Even if you make them properly, they may get ragged or whatever, but they're still usable. Use them for other stuff. So this is all that's on the back. Pescatarian Gardener. Hi. Thank you very much. I support you too, Pescatarian Gardener. You don't know it because I be in the bushes after my bedtime and I have glaucoma. These bright lights that we use for filming hurt my eyes. I only have one eye that I can see out of. I'm totally blind in my left eye. For those of you who are new, totally blind, totally blind. And I'm trying to preserve my eyesight. So I'm not sitting up there on the computer. I'm not sitting up here texting and whatnot. At night, like in the afternoon, because I get it really early, I put my drops in my eyes and I watch on TV and I'm not able to chat. So here's the second giveaway for my birth anniversary. Now let's put the apron handle on. I probably should have done the little repairs first, but I want you to see what I'm going to do on this. Sorry. Okay, so what I'm going to do is sew across here. I'm going to sew a little box to make it strong, and then I'll do the repair and do the other one. Why did I say I should have done it before? If I wasn't running my mouth, I would have. Because it's easier when you're not sticking all this stuff back and forth through the computer, because sometimes you're not paying attention and you double sew, you sew over things. So we're going to make sure that doesn't happen. Put the threads in the back and away we go. Away we go. I'm just going to put a thin, maybe an eighth of an inch sew line. How do I know it's an eighth of an inch? Because I'm using an inside edge. And inside edge, show inside this foot has different markings on it. So I'm using one of those markings to see where I'm sewing. And I've been sewing a long time, so I know how to do it. So I'm going to turn. I'm going to make a box here because I have a lot of it turned under. So I know that I'm sewing through all the thicknesses of the apron that's in the middle of this. So I'm going to make a little box. So that's side 2. I can't see the chat right now, but I'll be right back, you guys. Then I'm going to do this 4th side. I'm going to back stitch. Put it down. You always roll this hand wheel forward so that you don't mess up your timing on your machine. Oh, some people say, oh, I do it all the time. Doesn't happen. Keep on living. It's going to happen. You've got me singing when we all get to heaven. What a day of rejoicing that will be. When we all see Jesus, we'll sing in praise of victory. Yes, ma'am. GT Jr., Grows in Alaska. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I have gone around the edge of the square. Now I'm going to just do a diagonal to sew it down. Then I'm going to backtrack, go back around this side. So this strap, no matter who ties it, is not going to come off. It's not going to break. It's got this big square here. And I'm going to show you what I'm doing in the uno momento. That was pretty thick. She stuttered a little bit over there. So now the square is, whoops, is done. Oh, you know what, you guys? Look at this. I found this in my stash somewhere where I don't even keep my thread. I keep my thread above it. But this is a commercial thread. It's white. I never use white. It says Voyager. Voyager is the name of a computer, whatever, long arm. But when you test it, when you find old thread, you test it by pulling on it. This is pretty strong. If somebody wanted to hand sew it and double it, I told my helper that I'm going to give it to her because she doesn't sew, but I'm going to teach her how to hand sew, and I'll teach her how to use the sewing machine if she's interested in it. It doesn't sound like she is, but when she's here, when I'm doing something, she can do something with me. So, okay. Now, okay, this strap, I'm trying to see if I can go back without, I'll show you what I did. And I'm going to backspace, but I'm going to end it and just do it again. Why? I'll show you why. Because, okay, I'm going to cut this string. I'm going to look in the chat. 1 minute. Sorry, you guys. I don't want to sew my finger. Been there, done that. Not too long ago. Because I had this little part. That's why I said I should have repaired it before I did this. Sticking the strap in and out. Nothing is wrong except this part was up here. And I didn't feel like twisting and turning in there. So I know that something up here was falling apart where we are here today repairing a vintage apron. I know I saw something coming apart over here. But if I don't find it while we're live, I'm sure I'll find it as soon, oh, here it is, as soon as we hang up. So I'm going to try to find the right side of this, which is here. And see this? You see the stitches where it came loose. I'm going to sew it down. I'm just going to force it and sew it. And unlike the other that you can't see with the white thread, you'll be able to see this. But guess what? It's my apron, and at least it'll be usable and it won't be coming apart. So I'm going to stick this under here. Could I do it another way? Yes. Could I hand sew? Yes. I'm not going to. It's just a personal decision. I'm just trying to get it pulled over. Backspace. Because I almost pulled it over too far. Now, if I really wanted to, I could go around the whole entire thing so that you couldn't see it. But guess what? It's going to be usable. So, this little piece doesn't want to go under. Oh, you going under, sister. You're going down. You are going down. Okay. So, I'm going to force this over. And that's it. Doesn't look too bad. in my humble opinion. I'll show it to you guys in a minute. So this is what it looks like repaired. That's the back, but nobody's looking at that when you put the apron on. So now hello, did I miss anything? You guys are watching. So now this apron is like the pockets falling off. So I figure at some time they both are. So why don't I reinforce them both, even if you can see the stitches? So I'm just going to sew around it and make it so that it's really, really strong so that it doesn't come loose. I don't know who's going to get this apron, or what's going to happen to it. So I'm going to start here. My stitch length is 3.5 centimeters. And I thank you, moderators and family members, for welcoming everyone in when I can't see the chat. So I'm going back and forth a couple times. So whoever gets this apron won't have to worry about it coming loose again. It's not this pocket. Yes, the seams will be visible, but so what? It's still a very nice hand embroidered apron. Not embroidered by me. A lady that I never had the honor of meeting. She did a lot of crochet, a lot of hand embroidery. She passed away. Her husband got a new girlfriend, and the girlfriend didn't want the wife's stuff in the shed. So the husband paid somebody to come and clear the shed out. I'm cutting the stitches here. The shed out and take all this stuff to the dump. Take it to the dump. The dump. Well, the person he hired was a coworker of mine that had a pickup truck and used to clean out houses that were for sale and whatever. And he knew that I sewed and embroidered and crocheted. And he came to work and brought me this box of stuff. I've already gifted a lot of those of you who have been with me for a while. Those are the blocks and the crochet that I gifted and gave away on the channel before. So this, I don't know why those blue stitches are there. Oh, because they were sewn with blue thread. Well, guess what? That's not happening. That is not happening. Maybe if I sew over it with white thread, you won't see it. Let's see what happens. Okay. Oh, she's going to be so cute. And I like my big denim aprons. Oh, guess what, you guys? Speaking of aprons, I had a show and tell. Talk to each other 1 second. I'll be right back. I will be right there. I can't say the words COMING because Hershey is trained, and watch what he'll do when I was blind. Watch this. Coming! Oh, he won't do it. Now, usually when I say I'm coming to the door, he barks. He's like, what is she doing? He knows nobody's there. Okay, so what I want to do, I see a lot of you with these chef aprons. Okay. Put it over my head again. So these chef aprons, when you put them on, I see a lot of you. You see this? Do you know what this is for? For a professional chef apron. Everybody doesn't use it. You can use it for gardening tools, but this is what this is for. This is for your tasting spoon so that you're not putting it all over the counter with your spit on it and whatnot. You don't forget it. You're not double dipping. Your spoon goes there. How many of you knew that? How many of you knew that this space on a chef's apron is for your tasting spoon? More useless information, but I thought you guys would enjoy that. He knows you're messing. Mike says, I know her. She knows too much. It's 54 degrees, but it's going to be in the 30s tonight. It's been really warm in Connecticut. Oh, guess what? The entire state of Connecticut is in a drought stage and a fire, no burn thing because of it. So back to this apron. Back to this apron. Back to the straps. Do you see what I did? I put a little square on there, a little square to hold it. And now, this will be quick, you guys. Not much more. Not much more. So I'm just going to couple stitches forward, couple stitches back. And yes, I know how to sew fast, but some things when you're quilting require precision, precision, precision. Not one stitch past the point of a star when you're making your quilts to be judged, or the quilt police will get you. There's no real quilt police. It's other people that quilt that look to see what the rules were. You love cooking but hate restaurant culture. Oh, 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 oh. Well, do what you want to do. Do what you want to do. I don't even eat out anymore. I'm going out next week for my birthday because one of my friends has wanted to go out to a seafood restaurant. So we're going to do that. This end is a little like hanging down. So I'm making it so you can't see it tucked in when I ironed it shut. So this cute little like apron. And I encourage you guys to go to the secondhand stores. When grandma is in heaven with making her joyful noises, the kids just want to sell the house and get rid of the stuff. They just go dump it. They go dump it at Goodwill, yard sale, whoever will take it. So you might as be the one to get it. Those of you who have been with me for a while and you saw me when I was in Arizona, that wagon that's in her yard that I put plants in that I drag all over the place. Mike says news said it was going to be 60, so he went out in a t-shirt and shorts to get his broccoli. It's 40. Uh-oh, his arm is frozen and other body parts as well. So I'm at the bottom of this thing. Oh, I'm so excited. I've had this apron about 6-8 years in my to-do stuff, but I'm always doing something, so okay, side number 1 done. Okay, 2 shakes of a turkey tail. We'll have the other one done too. So look, you guys. Oh, and you know what? This is unbleached muslin. I have several different pieces of unbleached muslin, and they're all different colors. They're all different colors. So I found this one that was closest to this one. But you see how the apron is a little bit lighter? This was the lightest unbleached muslin they have. I had some over there, the thicker, wider one. Okay, so that was fixed. So the only other thing we need to do, oh, you know what? Let me just measure to see. A bit over like 7 1/4. I want to put the other apron string, as they call it, the same length as this. So one is not short and one is longer, because just looking at this, I can see these are little things you do when you know how to make alterations and repairs. I don't. Somebody tried to get me to fix a coat. I don't do repairs. So, you see this one? It's much longer than this one. So, I want to make them the same. I want to make them the same. So, stop Hershey. Now you want to mark. I will mark this one. It doesn't matter. I grabbed a pen. I said, Mike, be careful. Oh, Mike, not barefoot. Oh, no, 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 no. At least keep a pair of Crocs by the door. So now, this side, just so that you can see it, when I put the other side on, it'll be even. So, where is it? Of course, it's safely filed on the floor. So I will put this one inside. I will put this one. Oh, look, this one even came to a point. That was really different. So I'm going to open this up and put this inside here up to the line. And then close it back up. Close it back up. There's the line that I made. And fold it over. And you know what's interesting? They're not exactly the same size, but that's okay. We are going to make it work because that's what we do. So that's safely secure in there. We're going to do the same thing. Let me put the strings in the back. And we're going to sew a little box on the end. It's sewing to a lot of thicknesses, you guys. When you turn corners on the sewing machine, you leave the needle down. So I left the needle down for that. I'm sewing near the edge, like maybe less than 1/8 of an inch. I didn't measure how long I made the other box, but this is how long I'm making this one. So I'm sewing a little square, a little reinforcement square around here, like I did on the other one. Like I did on the other one. Sorry, guys. Hey, Mona did what? Thanks for coming and welcome. Miss Shirley OG, babysitting a great granddaughter. Now that's the best. Mwah, sweet baby. What am I sewing? I am repairing an apron The thumbnail that you see, the thumbnail that you saw coming in here, that is what I'm working on. And this is the second strap. I also made a little coaster, and you can go back to the beginning and see that one. And so now I'm sewing a diagonal box on this apron upcycling slash repair. I'm going down to a corner so that I can get another diagonal fit on it. And I'm just reinforcing a vintage apron, upscaling it so that it's usable, and it's really cute. Hold down because it's almost done. Now I'm going to put the other side of the X in here, going around and around inside this little space. Okay, so now, hold on, you guys, I'll be able to see the chat. I'm just pulling this out. You always stop with the needle. You always stop with the needle position in the utmost high that you can get it, the utmost position. So now I'm cutting these threads, and I'll show you, Mona, what I did. I did it on the other side as well. And so here's this side. This was an apron. The handle was too short, so I made an extension for it. Now, I sewed a lot of it in, what was already there. I don't know what was there. You love vintage upcycles? Thank you. Thank you. I love this one because I'll show you in a second. It's all hand embroidery on here. I don't even know anybody that hand embroiders. This took a lot of time. A lot of time. I have a embroidery machine, and even that takes time. What I love most on the machine is when I applique embroidery, meaning I'm putting fabric on top of the embroidery and incorporating the both of them. So now I'm sewing down the edge of the strap. Oh, I'm so excited. We're almost done. It was almost like me digging up those little potatoes this week. All 7 of them in that little grow bag. That's my fault, though. I didn't fertilize it like I should have. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Okay, you guys. It looks like we're done here. Mona did what? And others, if you haven't done so, you're welcome to. You can put exclamation mark GQUAT and it will drop your link. And any of you who are unfamiliar with the other channels, please go visit. Why? Because good friends become family, and family is everything. We have to support each other. You love doing hand embroidery? Oh, wow. Good for you, Garden State. So and so. Nikki, I saw you. Nikki, out there planting and cleaning up your garden. So you guys look. So here's a strap. This apron for sure. Here's the top. Here is the embroidered bottom. And whoever made this must have been a tiny person. It was a little German lady because she had a note in there. I don't know what happened to the note, but I still have it. So, dun, 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 I'm going to model it for you. That's the front. And, and now it fastens. Looks like I could have made it a little longer, y'all, right? Sissy, you might have to get this one. Uh, I didn't want a lot of strap hanging down on such a tiny apron. So, how many of you enjoyed that? That was fun. That was fun. Give a thumbs up if you enjoyed that, you guys, or put a 1 in the chat. So, Saturday, dun, 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 dun. So, Saturday we will be quilting a table runner that I've already made, and it's my birthday, so we're having a celebration, and I will be doing a live giveaway. Thank you, Lorraine T. I will be doing a live giveaway. By the way, you guys, Miss Shirley OG Gardner will be going live at 7 o'clock tonight. Sis, if I don't see you, I'll see you in the replay. You know it's nap time. I turn these lights out and put my glaucoma drops in and rest my eyes for a little bit. I enjoyed this, you guys. So, Saturday we will be quilting a giveaway table runner and giving it away. Joanne Stevens says she would gladly accept it. My baby sister always says, "Thank you, Mona did what?" My baby sister, her name is Della. She'll ask me, "Well, how many things did you give Joanne?" Well, Joanne and I have been close ever since mommy brought her home from the hospital. My other sister's 8 years younger than me, and I love her just as much. But Auntie Joanne is always here, and then she'll say, "Who's that for? Who did that?" And she's very supportive of my art endeavors, whether I'm painting or I'm sewing. Her and Uncle Roscoe would go to a quilting store and spend 4 hours picking fabrics out to send to me when I lived in North Carolina to make whatever I want. Or she would be buying buttons or pieces of leather to embellish my bags. Just the best support sister you could ever want. My other sister supports me too, but in different ways. In different ways. I have like that emergency thing on my phone. If I push it right now, Pankies are rolling. Do you hear me? They are coming. They are coming to see about Nana. And baby, they bring some heat. You don't want that. You don't want that. I got my own posse. So Saturday, I will be live, 6 p.m. Eastern. Thank you very much. My computer's saying your Mac will sleep soon unless plugged into a power outlet. Ah, get out of here. Don't be threatening me. All right. Somebody else asked, what does ego amo te mean? It's Latin, is the language, and it means I love you in Latin. Mother, ego amo te. I love each and every one of you. I appreciate each of your spirit and life that you give to the channel. This is an I in American Sign Language, an L, a U. I love you guys. Thank you. And all these messages popping up, and I'm trying to stop. Okay, I'll see you later. Love you.